Hey guys, this week for Weapons Wednesday, we're going to look at some of our most popular weapons on KarateMart.com. But before we begin, if you could just like this video and subscribe to our channel, that would be awesome. So this week for Weapons Wednesday, Amanda went back into the warehouse and pulled a bunch of random items for me to check out. So Amanda, why don't you go ahead and hand me the first item. Okay. Okay, I guess we're starting with a stun gun today. Awesome. So this is the Handheld Stun Gun. Oh, okay, that's actually cool. The reason Amanda grabbed this one for me is because we had a customer who commented a couple of weeks ago asking if we had any stun guns that had wrist straps on them. And this is one of the ones that we have that does. So let's check this thing out. Okay. So upon first glance, I actually really like the size of it. It looks like it's 4 inches by 2 inches, so fairly small. Let's see how well it fits in my pocket. Yeah, I mean, you can hardly notice it's there, which is pretty nice. The wrist strap is cool. You don't see a lot of stun guns that have these wrist straps, and I think it's because the batons are too bulky, and I think the other ones are just so small that they fit in your pocket nicely. But I do like the wrist strap. I think it's a really cool thing to add onto a stun gun. And I actually like this stun gun a lot too because it's so basic. There's not much to it. So for one, to plug it in, you just kind of flip the switch here, and then you can just plug it into your outlet. I think that's pretty neat. I mean, most of the stun guns we carry use like the USB, micro USB port, so that's just nice and convenient. It's also got a flashlight on it. I mean, that's as simple as it can be. You just turn the switch up once, and the flashlight goes on, and then you push it up one more time, and you can see that it's armed. So there's the stun gun. And that one actually sounds pretty loud and powerful. So this is, the manufacturer states it's 96 million volts. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that we don't take that number seriously because the manufacturers just throw a random number on their packages to make it appear that it's stronger than other stun guns. But I'm going to guarantee that this thing is actually going to hurt because it sounds pretty powerful. So in order to know if it is an effective weapon, we do like to test them out. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass this over to Amanda and let her stun me with it. Ah, jeez. That one got me. Yeah, that one was pretty painful. And I mean, if you've been watching my videos for any period of time, you've seen me get stunned a million times, and that one actually got me pretty good. So I feel like this is an effective stun gun. I like it. I like how powerful it is for the size, because that's pretty small. It comes with a nylon carrying case with a belt loop, which is cool. One thing I do need to mention though is stun guns have certain laws against them in certain states. All the weapons I'm going to show off today, check your local laws before carrying any of them just to play it safe, because certain things are illegal in certain areas. You just need to make sure that you're doing the right things. So, all right, let's move on to something else. Okay. All right, nunchucks. Let's see. Ah, the acrylic dragon nunchucks. I love these things. These are awesome. You know, it's funny, we've been carrying these for as long as I can remember, and I've actually never used a pair of acrylic nunchucks, so it'll be interesting to test out. They feel like they're a good weight. I would say it's pretty comparable to a standard wooden pair of nunchucks, a little heavier than a rattan pair, but not too heavy, that's for sure. And I guess the thing I love about acrylic nunchucks is they just look so awesome. So even if you're not a person who likes nunchucks, these things would look awesome being displayed somewhere. So I'm super into these. They have the dragon on them, and I know we carry versions that don't have a dragon on them. We also carry like the spiral acrylic, but these look really cool. I I just love the look of them. And they're pretty solid too. I've never tested them out. I don't know how strong they are. I think we should test them. I think we should find out if these things are durable. Yeah, if they're worth even owning. So let's go ahead and test them out a little bit. So first off, as far as weight goes, that feels pretty comfortable. I like it. It's fairly fast. I don't have a lot of room in here, so I don't like that. I feel constricted when I'm striking. But it feels pretty good. It's got a nice flow to it. You know, it's funny, whenever I teach people nunchucks, the first thing they want to learn is wrist rolls, which is cool. Wrist rolls are kind of fun. They're good in tournaments for flashy things, but they're not like anything you'd ever want to use in a defensive situation. So I always like to teach the basics first. I always like to teach the strikes, the armpit strikes, the outer armpit strikes, and especially, here, I'm actually going to pull this guy out. So one of the most important things to do with nunchucks is to actually strike something with them. I think I pulled it out too far. Because when you're striking something with them, what'll happen is you'll strike it and it'll kind of bounce back and hit your hand. Anyone who's done nunchucks before knows this. And that's why it's so important to actually learn how to strike an object that's really dense like this. So this thing is actually more solid than like a tree because it doesn't have the bark that's going to absorb some of that impact. So this is actually a great thing to strike. And what I do is I like to strike and pull back into my armpits. And this is actually really good because we're testing out the acrylic to see if it creates any damage. So far, no damage. All right, well, it looks like they're in pretty good shape after hitting it so many times. I'm actually pretty impressed with how well those things held up. Pretty nice. But let's actually hit these things as hard as we can and see if we can break them, because I don't feel like these would be the best chucks for actually striking something like this. If I were to be striking something like a Wing Chun dummy, I'd be wanting to test it with like a rattan pair of chucks or something, or even a foam pair of chucks just to get the striking down. I think that would be better. But let's go ahead and see if we can actually break these things. Let's give it a good strike. Okay, well, we found its breaking point. You can see it broke right underneath the ball bearing chain area. And yeah, I mean, it actually held up pretty nicely, but the problem is it's a material that doesn't really have the ability to absorb any impact. So I would not use an acrylic pair of nunchucks on any sort of object like this. It's probably just going to break on you. But these things look awesome. I think they'd be really fun for forms. I think they'd be really fun for just practice, but probably not the best for striking. So yeah, pretty awesome. All right, let's check something else. Okay. Oh. All right, the full combat sword. You know what? I'm gonna go grab something from the other room really quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so Amanda just handed me this full combat foam sword. And there's kind of an interesting story around this. So years ago, we used to sell these guys. I don't remember what we called them on the site, but we had a customer comment that his sword broke really quick. And when we heard about it, we decided to test them out. So we actually, just a few of us employees just started hitting them against each other to see how durable they are. And what we found is that they broke really easily. In fact, we've still got a stack of them here at the office, just for Christmas parties and things. But let's see if we can break this guy. So this is the old style. We no longer carry these. Let's just see how easily it'll break. Yeah, one swing. One swing and it broke that easily. So granted, we did not want to sell something like this. So recently, another company contacted us asking us to sell their model. And from what they say, these things are virtually impossible to break. So let's actually test this out and see if these things can take some impact. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually pretty awesome. I'm gonna give it a really good whack just to see. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. But what I like about these is people who are learning, things like swords, they have something to actually play with. These are also great for like kids and things because you can learn how to use swords and not get hurt. I'm gonna go ahead and hand this over to Amanda and just see how much it hurts. Move Wing Chun dummy back. There you go. Just strike me as hard as you can. Like harder. Okay, don't break everything in the room, just strike me. Harder. Okay, so I'm probably gonna have some pretty bad bruises tomorrow, which I'm okay with, but it hurt a little bit when she was striking her hardest, but honestly, these things are pretty safe, and I like that. So for kids and things, I think it's important to have tools that they're not going to get injured by. It's a very soft foam, basically like a pool noodle or something, which is pretty sweet. So this is approximately 35 inches long, which is a great length for that. It's made of virtually indestructible ABS core in it, and it weighs approximately 12 ounces. Which is pretty awesome. I mean, I like the weight of that. It's very light. I think it'd be good for kids, good for instructors. If a kid drops their hands, give them a little whack. Pretty awesome. They are sold individually, just so you know. So if you have 2 kids, you want to buy 2 of them. I like it. I think it's actually pretty awesome. So I'm going to have Amanda hand me something else. All right. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay, the Hidden Red Blade Baton. I don't think I've ever actually seen this item before, so it's pretty cool. First off, it's got this really nice nylon case. I like that. It actually feels really good quality. It's got this huge belt loop on there, which might be a little awkward, but I don't know, it's cool. So let's look at the actual weapon itself. So this has a baton that is 16.25 inches. Feels pretty solid. I like that. It's made out of a, let's see, it looks like it's a hollow steel shaft with a black oxide finish on it. Looks really nice. I like the knurling on it. It's actually really comfortable, really nice grip. But let's check out the actual weapon aspect of this thing. And we've got, you unscrew it, we've got that really nice looking, it looks like a tri-edge blade, and the blade is made out of a 2CR13 stainless steel. I like that. Fairly sharp. The edges aren't sharp. It'd be a tough thing to sharpen though with these angles. I think that'd be difficult. But I mean, it looks cool. I really like the look of it. I love that red. I think that's awesome. But then if we unscrew this little cap down here, then that screws into the handle. So that gives us something with a little more reach, almost like a spear. So I like that. I like how much reach we have there. That's pretty cool. So for a fantasy weapon, I think this thing is pretty awesome. I like it. I actually like it a lot. I think it's pretty neat. Let's see if there's anything else I need to tell you about it. Not really. I mean, but if you have any questions on it, definitely leave them in the comments. All right, I'll put this away and let's test something else. Okay. Okay, the black tactical nightstick. Yeah, I actually really like this thing. You know, when I was growing up in the martial arts, the first weapon my instructor had me learn when I was really young was the tonfa. It went tonfa and then sai and then the staff. And I really feel like the reason that he chose to have us learn tonfa first is because tonfa are so good to practice your forms and kata with. And same with the sai too. I mean, they're just great for that. But this is awesome. I like the look of it. It's a totally modern take on a tonfa. Now granted, it is sold individually. It's not as a pair like a tonfa, but it's a nightstick. It's a nightstick and not really meant to be a tonfa. So let's just look at it. First off, it's got this kind of tapered, bulbous end to it, and yeah, it's kind of as I thought. With a normal tonfa, you don't get that much force behind it. So they made this a little bit thicker and a little bit heavier. Yeah, you can get some really nice force behind it. I like that. Second off, I absolutely love this. I think this was so smart for them to put these points here and here. I mean, when you're doing your strikes, you got a point there. If you're doing your strikes that way, you've got a point right there. I mean, how wonderful is that? That was just really well thought out. I've actually been curious as to how strong these are. I know that they're made out of a polypropylene, which means that it's going to be strong, but let's actually test it out a little bit and just see how strong it is. I'm going to pull Wing Chun Dummy back into the frame, and let's just give it a good, nice. Wow, that's awesome. That actually like chipped into the wood. Ooh, I like that. Put a big gash in there. I like that. That's really nice. Wow, jeez, we're doing some major damage to this Wing Chun Dummy. So that is why I think it's so cool that we have this point here, and there is 0 damage to this nightstick. So I love that. You know what else I love is you know, all these weapons we use in the video I get to keep afterwards, because we obviously can't sell something like this to the customers. So pretty awesome. But I've got a mess in here. I've got all kinds of little pieces of Wing Chun Dummy everywhere. So that's going to be fun to clean up. So this thing is approximately 23.5 inches long, which is, for me, that's the perfect size for me. I usually like my tonfa or nightstick to come just past my elbow so that I can block things with it and not have to worry about my elbow getting hit. So for me, this is just the right length for a nightstick. I absolutely love this weapon. But if you have any questions on any of the items I showed off today in the video, definitely leave them in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, and check out KarateMart.com because we have all kinds of really awesome items on the site. But until next week, we'll see you Weapons Wednesday.